Hey there guys, welcome into another episode of Around the ICC European Edition with me, Kevin Egan. This week I'll give you my take on this summer's top transfers, all with an ICC XI twist. I'll wrap up the Serie A season that saw Immobile create history, and I'll preview and predict the upcoming Champions League and the Europa League games. So let's get right to it. Let's kick off this week with our ICC XI, a team of guys that'll dominate this summer's silly season. And Mauricio Pochettino, you are my coach, and I think you're going to do a U-turn on that stance on managing Barcelona. Chelsea need a keeper, as the most expensive in the world, Kepa, is clearly not good enough. They could make a statement and pay Jan Oblak's $140 million release clause. The right-back merry-go-round is in full swing as well, and it all kicked off with Achraf Hakimi's blockbuster move from Real Madrid to Inter. Thiago Silva's time at PSG is up. I reckon he'd be a perfect fit at Arsenal in a 1 or 2 year deal. That means the Gunners will get another ageing Brazilian centre-back, but Silva still has so much to offer. Man City just splashed on Nathan Ake, but I still think they need a right-sided centre-back, and that man could be the enforcer supreme, Kalidou Koulibaly. Alongside Laporte, they'd have the best pairing in the Premier League. Chelsea need a left-back, and I'd say they're going to have to pay a lot of money for Ben Chilwell, but don't be surprised if Getafe's Cucurella is the one they get at a cheaper price. This summer will be a quiet one for Real Madrid, no doubt about that, but I think they'll do a deal with Ron for their sensational 17-year-old midfielder, Eduardo Camavinga. Inter need a midfielder, and I reckon it's going to be Tottenham's Ndombele. Ferran Torres will prove to be a bargain over at Manchester City, moving from Valencia. He's just that good, and expect about 4 times his fee to be spent on Kai Havertz, who wants a move to Chelsea. Victor Osimhen is absolutely brilliant. Love him. The Nigerian has already completed his move from Lille to Napoli, and up front, the biggest deal is already done with Timo Werner jumping across to Chelsea. So, which player do you want to see sign for your team? Now, I know you love transfer talk as much as I do, so here's 3 more good ones to keep an eye on. We've all heard about Liverpool's interest in Thiago Alcantara, who's up for leaving Bayern Munich, I think, but now PSG really want this gem for their midfield. Absolutely love this player. Keep an eye on that one. Manchester City and Barca could be in for a swap deal involving Sergio Roberto heading to the Premier League and teenage centre-back Eric Garcia jumping across to the Camp Nou. We all know Juventus just gobble up the best talent in Italy, don't they? And they could be at it again this summer, with many reports suggesting that they've got their sights set on Roma's Nicolo Zaniolo, another top-class talent. So which deal can you see happening this summer? Now, Serie A wrapped up in Italy over the weekend, and the big news for me was that Ciro Immobile scored on the final day and matched Gonzalo Higuain's all-time league record of 36 goals. A phenomenal achievement, and it also means he takes home the European Golden Shoe. So, question for you folks. Are the Lewandowski for Ballon d'Or shouts dwindling away, or are they still as strong as ever before? I know the award isn't going ahead this year, but who would have won it? For me, Lewandowski still takes it ahead of Immobile. Why? Lewandowski had a better goals per minute ratio, and that's important here because in Germany it's only a 34-game season and the Polish striker only had 5 penalties to his name. Plus, he was sublime in Europe. Now, I still think Leo Messi takes the whole thing over Lewandowski. Think about it. Kevin De Bruyne won the Premier League Player of the Year this year, in large part because he had 20 assists. Messi had 21 over in Spain, a La Liga record, all while scoring 25 goals. His influence was greater than any player on any one team, and for me, he would have picked Lewandowski for it. All hypotheticals, of course, but I'd still like your opinion. So with the leagues coming to an end, that means we're on the verge of returning to European action, and I've got some previews and predictions coming your way, starting with this week's Europa League. First up is Manchester United's clash against Lask, with the Red Devils already 5-0 up after the first leg in Austria. Now expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to make changes to his starting 11, as this one is a formality. Ighalo, James, Pereira, McTominay, all players that should start in a comfy Man United win. Fresh off beating Atalanta and taking second in Serie A, Inter play Getafe, a side that surprised in the best possible way over in Spain this season. Now, in saying that, their best form did come before the break. It's a single match knockout game in Germany and a tough one to call. My bet is Inter take it though, and here's why. They've kept 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games, and I really think Godin and co at the back will handle Getafe's Molina and Mata. I'll say 2-0 Inter in this one. Sevilla love their title of Kings of the Europa League, don't they? And if they're to win a 6th crown this century, they'll have to get past an in-form Roma. This for me is the tie of the round. This should mean a little more for Roma though, as they finish 5th in Serie A, so this is their route to Champions League football next season. I like this team a lot, and I love Nicolo Zaniolo. And even though they go into this one in form after winning their last 4 straight and beating Juventus in their last game, I'm still leaning toward a rested Sevilla, who have a newfound identity under Julen Lopetegui. Diego Carlos is a rock at the back. Banega is the conductor in midfield. Wonderful width as well with Navas and Reguilon, and Ocampos is having the season of his life. This is the team I'm picking, 3-1 Sevilla. To the Champions League we go, where Ronaldo and Juve must overturn a 1-0 deficit against Lyon. A couple of form questions here. Juve won the Scudetto, but there's no doubt we saw a side with a lack of mental focus here, winning just 2 of their 8 games since returning. Maurizio Sarri has said as much, saying fear will be a good thing for his team. Lyon, however, played their first competitive game since March last Friday, and I think that will cost the French side. Dybala should be fit to go alongside Ronaldo, and Juve will win this game. I'm saying 3-0. Bayern Munich hold a 3-0 lead against Chelsea after they dismantled the Blues at Stamford Bridge. Add to that this Bayern side is rested, and Chelsea just lost a grueling and an emotional match against Arsenal in the FA Cup final, plus Pulisic picked up a hamstring injury. I think this one is more than over. If and when Bayern score early, Chelsea need 5. Good night, all the best, see you later, ciao ciao. Barcelona and Napoli. This one is so finely poised. These are 2 teams that led their respective leagues in possession stakes this season. They like to control the ball. We expect that from Barcelona, and Napoli have continued that under Gattuso. It's 1-1 from the clash in Naples, but an awful lot has changed since then. Napoli won their first trophy in 6 years when they won the Coppa Italia, and they finished the league strong, beating Lazio last weekend. Fabian Ruiz has been exceptional in midfield, and Dries Mertens will always be a threat. For Barcelona, that feeling is certainly not the same. They allowed Real Madrid leapfrog them in La Liga, and key players seem disgruntled and coaches are not too happy right now. The board as well seems to be an issue, so I smell an upset. Busquets and Vidal are suspended. Artur is at odds with the club. They're still a ridiculously talented team that possess the greatest player of all time, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I smell an upset. Napoli take this one 3-2 in a thriller. Finally, Manchester City, Real Madrid, another ridiculously tight matchup, and again a tie where the sensation has shifted since they met in March. Back then, Real Madrid were defensively porous and lacked a spark further forward. And while they still don't score for fun like they did in previous recent seasons, they have shut up shop at the back. Courtois, Ramos, Casemiro have been next level since the return. So where does that leave a tie the City lead 2-1 from the Bernabeu? Well, I think we're set for another blockbuster, an epic encounter. Kevin De Bruyne is playing the best ball of his career right now, and I still expect Pep's team to advance, but only just. I'm going to guess 2-2 on the night, Man City to take it. And that Manchester City-Real Madrid clash takes us perfectly to this week's ICC Memories, on a night that saw a record crowd for a soccer match in Los Angeles, with over 93,000 people packed into the LA Coliseum. On this occasion, Manchester City put Los Blancos to the sword, racing off to a 4-0 lead in the second half before Zidane's men grabbed a consolation goal. A magical night with 93,098 people to be exact, making an effort to be there on a weeknight. Oh, roll on these nights again. Folks, that is all we have time for this week. Make sure you check out the fixture with Meg Linehan, and as always, internationalchampionscup.com for all our classy team. And me, Kev. See you next week.